Hey guys, it's Grace. So for my Module 5 Atomic lesson, I'm going to focus on behavior change. I chose this because I'm minoring in psychology and I think the mind plays such a significant role on developing behaviors such as exercise. And there's such a huge mental component when referring to exercise. So I think it's super important. So chapter 12 really gets into behavioral strategies that can be used to promote a physically active lifestyle. This is so important because if the goals are unrealistic for that specific client, the client may feel really unmotivated. And we want to prescribe exercise that can be attainable for that person. And we really want to tailor an exercise regimen or develop a fit model that is conducive for that individual's success. To do this, we can manipulate different aspects of the fit model. An example of this would be having the client self-select their time and frequency of the exercises. This can really have a positive influence on their adherence to the actual exercise intervention. Also talked about in this chapter 12, they really stress the social cognitive theory, which basically describes the influence of individual experiences and the actions of others, and also environmental factors within individual health behaviors, such as exercise. So an example of this would be an individual who starts some sort of exercise regimen or whatever. They feel really good about themselves after, they feel super accomplished, and then that's going to engender more exercise. And then this might even result in manipulating their environment so even more exercise can happen. On the flip side, in contrast, people who might be worked too hard or aren't achieving much success when they work out, they might develop really negative feelings towards it and associate really negative results with exercise. So they might manipulate their environment so that they're not exposed to working out at all. So an example of this would be like if you worked out and you experienced fatigue and you just associated really negative, poor outcomes with working out, you might move all your exercise equipment from your house to a storage unit, something like that. So exercise is totally out of sight, out of mind. The biggest takeaway I found from the social cognitive theory is the idea of self-efficacy. This idea is essentially one's belief in themselves that they can successfully complete a task. A phrase that I've heard that I think is really coincides with this is like, she believed she could, so she did. If an individual has low self-efficacy, they might not even try to establish that behavior from the start. An example of this in my life is with my parents. I've tried to encourage them so many times to promote healthy lifestyles, and a lot of times it's just combated with, I don't even think I can do that. I can't lift weights. I don't know the first thing about working out. And so that alone will just deter them completely from even trying or establishing that first initial behavior. Also, I learned in psychology that it takes, I believe, 21 days to change a behavior or to start a new behavior or break a behavior. So I think that's really important. So just having that self-efficacy, you believe in your ability to do something, and so you can ultimately do it. And then the more you are successful, the higher your self-efficacy is. So if there's certain pressures applied and you're still able to overcome that you're able to overcome hardships, then your self-efficacy will ultimately get higher. A lot of times a lot of people will already anticipate the results of the behavior and choose not to engage at all, which is detrimental, I think, especially when referring to exercise. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. That is all.